Hi, I'm Mike J. Quinn, the founder of AmericaUnited.org, a political action committee devoted to returning all of America back to all Americans. Today's topic is the transgender bathroom brouhaha. Now, this is the silliest thing I think us Americans have ever argued about. The world must look at us and think we're either a little crazy or completely homophobic. So let's break this down into the simplest parts, okay? Men go into men's rooms, women go into women's rooms. Now, for the most part, from what I'm seeing, most of the people who have a problem with this issue have two things in common. One, they don't know any transgender people, and two, they're a bit older than most Americans. Now, I say this because if they knew any transgender people, it would be obvious that they're not aliens who are coming to eat their children. Transgender people are regular people like you and me. They have hopes and dreams, and quite frankly, they are without a doubt the most bullied minority in our country and really need our understanding and support, not hateful words or harsh laws. The transgender community are the people under attack, not everyone else. If the people having a hard time with sharing bathrooms with transgender people knew any of them, they would probably be their friends, and this wouldn't even be a problem. As far as being older, let's face it, switching your gender is a fairly new topic for most of us. So we didn't grow up knowing any people who went through this process until just recently, if at all. So for the older Americans, to help straighten out the confusion, I offer the following colloquialism. Remember the old saying, if it looks like a duck, walks like a duck, and quacks like a duck, it's probably a duck? Well, we used to use that saying to help us understand things we weren't familiar with. We should try it now. If a man gets a sex change and becomes a woman, she will look like a woman, talk like a woman, walk like a woman, dress like a woman, and more than likely smell like one too. She is now a woman and should not be forced to go into the men's room where everyone there looks like a man, walks like a man, talks like a man, and definitely smells like one. She would look totally out of place there. Let's just keep men in men's rooms and women in women's rooms and not get all hung up on when or how they got to be that way. Now, since most of us probably don't know a transgender person, but we are familiar with the Caitlyn Jenner story, let's use that as an example. Imagine Caitlyn Jenner, all dressed up and smelling like a woman, strolling into the men's room and saddling up into the stall next to you to take a leak. Is that what you think is the right thing to do? I don't think so. No women should be going into men's rooms, and no men should be going into women's rooms. This is, after all, what everybody wants. I don't think the people who are having the biggest problem with this issue have actually really thought about it. Now listen up, American Family Association. For an organization who opposes men going into women's rooms, why are you sending men into women's rooms? At Target. Imagine if you were protesting the death penalty. Would you kill people to make a point? This is just stupid. We don't want men going into women's rooms, but that's what would happen if you forced women who changed into men but have woman written on their birth certificate. You would actually have men going into women's rooms, and women like Caitlyn Jenner would be forced to go into men's rooms. If you would like more proof, watch my upcoming video. Now, here are a few examples to think about. If you started out as a Democrat but changed to a Republican, are you still really a Democrat? If your hair was red but you dyed your hair blonde and everyone else lined up according to hair color, would you still stand in the redhead line? If you got a degree in chemical engineering but you became an actor, if someone asked you what you did for a living, would you say chemical engineer? And finally, if you were born in Russia but became an American citizen, what does your American passport say? It would be different than what was on your birth certificate, wouldn't it? So if you are an American, we ask that you stand with our transgender brothers and sisters and help them to realize the equality of human rights they should enjoy just by virtue of being an American. Please vote against any law that would force them to be treated like the person they used to be and not the person they are now. And vote against the re-election of anyone who would try to separate this community from the rest of us and persecute these Americans like a hated and unworthy minority. Or one day these same politicians may come gunning for you. Join America United today and tell your government we're united against discrimination. Thank you.